I guess we
Oh,
just start off with like introducing like what you do as a game artist. What's your day to day like? And like, yeah, just start introducing yourself.
sure. I mean, yeah, I'm Sophie. I am a games artist, and with Nomos, I do both 2D art and 3D art. So, like some concept art where it's needed, and this like character modeling type stuff, props where they're needed, prop design, concept art, I guess. Pretty much, yeah. A little bit of level design where I am able to, but it's not my strong point. And a tiny bit of UI as well. But again, like it's still an area where I'm still learning and improving. And it's not something that I sort of studied. Whereas, yeah, the 3D art, 2D art I've been doing for a long, long time. So it's where I have the most experience. Does that pretty much cover it?
Yeah, pretty much. I guess like I have like a bunch of other questions. I don't know if you want to like start on your texturing while I ask you.
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to make a
Yeah.
new image. For
Hmm.
some reason, that requires like 100% of my brain power, and then once I'm actually texturing, I can like relax a bit.
Right.
I don't know why. Monkey.
Creative brain moment.
Yeah, it's this. It's mostly this. When I have to put in the dimension, I need to remember them.
I
All
think
right.
that's the case for like any artist or like just like, oh, this
Yeah.
this requires brain, and then like some other bits, it's like quiet focus.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, like when you're drawing and you're just doing like a repeating pattern or something, and you could just do it
Mm.
forever.
Yeah, I guess
So I
that.
just, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to sort of say a little bit what I was doing in case
Yeah.
anyone wants to know about Blender stuff. So I just created basically a new like square image, and then I'm going to apply it to this model, which has already been UV unwrapped. It's called Robot Monkey. So using texture nodes. Um, I won't go into like too much detail about that. There's lots of good tutorials online for it. So yeah, so he's just plain color now, and I'll start texturing. All
Is
right.
there a reason why like it's still wearing like the Santa?
Oh yeah, just that's the last one I was working on. So
Right.
I was using it as a mannequin basically to
Mm.
build the clothes on top of, but I can hide those.
Right.
And I think the robot monkey probably won't have clothes anyway because it's going to be all metal pieces. We'll see. The default clothes are just like a t-shirt and shorts. So yeah, just see what looks best for this one.
Mm. Okay. I guess like I can just go off like the questions I had for like sea
Yeah,
monkeys modeling and stuff. Like, how long
go
does
for it.
making a new species sort of take from like conception to final model then?
Um, oh, it really depends on just the complexity of the texture and any other props that we need as well. So,
Hmm.
like the tiger monkey took ages for some reason. I think it was just, you know, the repetition of like painting all the stripes and getting them to match up. Because yeah, like I was sort of showing before, like when you paint sort of a stripe on the front or something, then you sort of have to
Or it goes
match it
wonky
around
on
the
the
back.
edges.
Yeah, even if you have symmetry on, like I can turn X symmetry or Y symmetry on here, and then I can sort of what I paint on the front will also appear on the back. But there's still a gap that you have to sort of fill in. It doesn't always work that well. So it's just, yeah, making sure that there's no little mistakes like that. But yeah, the detailed sort of hand painted textures take the longest, and then the Santa one that I just had up previously, building out the hat and the jumper for that. It took a little while. So yeah, it just depends whether they're wearing unique clothes as well.
So for this robot monkey, you'll be working on like the block pieces.
Sorry?
Working on like little pieces of its like body, like I guess since it's mechanical, it'd be like parts, chunks, instead of like wearable. I'm not too sure.
Yeah. I didn't do concept art for this one, so I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. I think I'm just going to feel it out as I go.
For your other species, do you usually like draw like concept art for it first and then like get into it? Like you mentioned the sea monkeys one being slightly more complicated.
Yeah, I'll just get. I might put some concept art in the. Should I put it in the chat, in the voice chat like channel, or
Yeah, sure.
share?
If you
If I
want.
share my screen, I'm just a little bit like I'll have to stop the recording and then start recording again on the iPad, and then yeah.
That's all right. Just pop it in voice chat, I guess. Just out of
Sure.
curiosity, that. He has a question, by the way. How many different variations of sea monkeys have you created so far?
Oh gosh.
So many.
Yeah, so
The
many.
answer is many.
I have the species here. I can probably tell you. Okay, we've done standard monkey, trash monkey, tiger monkey, snail monkey, cat monkey, dog monkey, hungry monkey, sporty monkey, pirate monkey, blah blah blah. I think there's about 22 so far. I don't know
I think it's
whether all
more.
of
It's
them.
like 25, I think.
Is it?
Not all of them are in the game.
Yeah,
at the
I think
moment,
some
but-
of them aren't in the game yet. Yeah, yeah. But the ones that are in the game, I'm just looking at. We've numbered them. They have numbered codes, and it goes up to 22. So, yeah, quite a few, and there'll be more.
Which is your favorite then, out of all of them that you've like, or well, all of them that you've made and like are going to be making?
Oh, it's so hard. I think I really like Tiger Monkey.
My favorite.
Oh, awesome. I like the original just because it was the first one that I made. And probably Princess Monkey. I don't know, I just really like the color combo of the dress and they have sort of a purple skin and yellow dress, and I really like that combo.
It's really cute. It is. Questions from Marty. Which variation haven't you made yet, and like that you're most excited to do?
Oh, I was thinking about doing for this AMA the dragon monkey, and I'm really looking forward to doing that one. But I didn't do it because I thought with drawing all the scales it might be a bit repetitive. So that's why I didn't do it. But I think that's the one I'm most looking forward to after this. And the robot monkey, I was excited about that. So I know I'm doing it. Yeah, yeah.
Next question is also from Marty. It's more about like general. Yeah. If you had a chance to do a Sea Monkeys collab with another game or like IP, which one would you want to do?
Oh, that's such a good question. Also really hard. I don't know. I can't think of a particular game, but I think it would be really cool to have like a VR Sea Monkeys where you explore a sea monkey tank, like like an underwater environment with the sea monkeys, but it's VR and they're like life size, and you can just follow them around and swim around. That'll probably give me motion sickness, but it sounds cool.
life size as in like our size or like actual sea monkey size, like
No,
microscope?
like human-sized. I don't know, that might be kind of scary, but
Yeah, I was just thinking that's kind of spooky.
I like the idea of, yeah, I don't know, just being able to explore like an underwater environment and play catch with a sea monkey like in VR. Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, I think like in the past, Sea Monkeys has done like collabs with I think Marvel or like some other like
Really?
old comic franchises. So I think there was like
Oh,
some Sea Monkeys and like Aquaman crossover sort of thing.
that's
Yeah,
so cool.
Aquaman staying over at like Sea Monkeys like houses and stuff. So that was interesting collab. Yeah.
That's
Mm.
awesome.
Ronnie has another question.
Yep.
How does the team decide which variation is created next?
Um, we just kind of, I guess, like, yeah, we size them according to how long it will take, how much work it is,
Mhm.
and we look at our time limit. Like it's like a
Mm.
week, say, sprint, and then I say, okay, I think this one will take a day, or I think this one will take half a day, and I can do two in a day, or like one of them, like particularly complicated ones, might take 2 or 3 days. Because sometimes it's just a matter of adding like an asset to the original sea monkey, like a little hat or something, and sometimes it's full on painting a texture. So that's pretty much how we do it, and we pick the ones that we're sort of looking forward to as well, and just make sure we have a good mix. Like we'll do one that maybe takes 2 days, and then another one that takes one day. Yeah, and we aim to just get a certain number done. I think Rubes, we kind of tried to even it out to maybe like 3 to 5 a sprint, like 3 to 5 a week. Is that
Yeah,
right?
usually ever just a little low. I think we set our expectations a bit high, but you're right. We
Yeah.
basically just pick the ones that seem the most that we like the most, really.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was kind of our first way of deciding, and then after we decided that, we thought like about the time frame and stuff. Yeah,
Like more practical considerations then.
pretty
Mhm.
much. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, I have some questions. Like, could
Yeah,
you
go for it.
share like what sort of tools you use for like the entire process of making a sea monkey? Like right now you're using Blender. Do you use any
Yeah.
other tool?
Not really, except for
Mm.
Procreate for like the concept work. I'm so sorry I couldn't find that concept painting. I have no idea where it is. But yeah, just for sketching concepts, Procreate, and then yeah, making the little face icons and stuff as well. I use Procreate for that. But in terms of the actual model, it's all completely in Blender,
Hmm.
like rigging and everything. Just because I know Blender really well, and it's yeah free to access. It's good.
Okay. I guess I can also ask you like more general, like game artists related questions since like Sea Monkeys one. We've been just covering Sea Monkeys in general.
Sure.
Maybe you want to share a bit about how you got into the game industry in general?
Um, yeah, kind of a. Oh, sorry, I just got to redraw these wires. Kind of a weird story. So I should I start like way from the beginning? I guess I will. In high school, I played Half-Life 2, and it changed my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Um, I I thought maybe architecture, but that was really daunting. So
Mhm.
yeah, I played Half-Life. I was like, wow, this is so cool. I get to like I can make games. Like I can use my art skills, but also use like a little bit of programming and maths skills, and 3D modeling and that. So yeah, went to Macquarie Uni, studied game design there, and then ended up at Nomos because I had a group project for that course, and we presented a pitch, and it was to people in the industry, and Marty was there. Gave me his business card, and then I procrastinated for ages about calling, and then I called about an internship, and then it happened that they needed an artist anyway, so it was also my job. Here I am.
Oh, I remember you saying something about like having Marty's business card like pinned up to your fridge or something.
I had it on my fridge for like 3 years. I was studying part-time, which is why it was so long. Yeah, and my partner kept telling me, he was like, oh, you should just call. I was like, no. Yeah, didn't think I was ready. But then, yeah, the internship gave me an excuse to have to do it.
Well, it all turned out well in the end.
It did. Yeah.
I guess like this is more of like a personal like curiosity. Do you have any tips about like people aspiring to be game artists? I think in general, like how you get your foot in the door and stuff like that.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, I have to think about it because, yeah, I got in kind of in a weird way. I didn't get my foot in the door sort of in the normal, there's no normal way really, but like a lot of people I know, especially overseas, where the industry is bigger, like in the US, you start out as it's almost like a production line. So if you're an artist, you might be like a texture artist that's just doing rocks or something. Like if you work for, Riot Games or something like that. Yeah, so I guess just have a good folio and make sure that you're specific about what you want to do. So if you want to be a texture artist, like make sure like you can put some illustration up there, but also make sure that you've got your best texture art. If you want to be a character artist, put up character art and like if you're using ArtStation or your own site or Adobe Folio or something, make sure you put a description about your thought process and how you came to that design, what your inspiration was, that sort of thing. I've heard people like to see that. Yeah, I guess that's it. Just, make sure you have an effective folio. And there's lots of advice as well, like just online, like YouTube. There's so many videos about how to put together a good folio. Yeah, that's all I got right now.
I guess that's kind of like the technical stuff you should get if you're thinking about entering the industry. What about like maybe like soft skills people should have?
Yeah. Oh,
Probably important too.
yeah. I guess just like general professionalism. So any skills that you would need to have just in the workforce anyway. Like say, if you were going for an admin position or something at an office. Like I've worked in payroll and admin and stuff for years before I was in the games industry working as an artist, and just basically like good email etiquette, good face-to-face like professionalism, I guess, and the ability to like take instruction, work to a brief, like be able to communicate really well to non-artists about art concepts. I guess that's pretty much it. And being able to not be too precious about your work. Like if you are working to a brief or you're working with someone that has a very specific idea of their vision and what they want, you just need to kind of put yourself in their shoes and and be a good communicator and try and understand like what it is they want and work to that. Even if it means that you got to change your personal style a bit, or yeah. Like if you look at my work and then you look at Sea Monkeys, they're totally different styles. And I had to cultivate a new style to work on Sea Monkeys because my personal style is very not suited.
Yeah, I think like most of your paintings and stuff that I've seen is like usually slightly more realistic-ish.
Yeah, I guess they have a certain. I guess they all look a little bit janky in a very specific way.
I think Marty has a question. I think it's slightly similar to the one I asked earlier. Do you have any advice for other artists who might want to work in the industry but worry they are not ready?
Yeah, only from my own experience.
Yeah.
Because like I said, like having the business card on the fridge for 3 years because I didn't think I was ready, and then going and getting the job. I think you should just try it and step in as soon as you can, like even if you don't feel ready. And if you're not successful the first time, just keep going, keep making connections, like try to get to know people in the industry. Find a mentor if it's possible. Doesn't have to be someone who's at the top of their game, like super professional, been in the industry for years, but just like I know someone that is a background painter at Netflix, but she's also like she's not that much less junior than I am in the grand scheme of things, but I look up to her as my mentor. Yeah, I guess my point is just you're more ready than you think you might be because everyone's their own worst critic. And
Don't sell yourself short, basically.
yeah. But also at the same time, like if you're seeking critique for your art so you can get better, to get your foot in the door in the industry, like make sure you take it on board, unless it's just really mean-spirited, and then it's not a critique really. But yeah, in general.
I think Marty had another question for like our discussion earlier about like portfolios. So should artists aim for quality or quantity in their portfolio?
Or quality, definitely. I know artists that are like I don't know them, but I know of them, like artists that have worked on my favorite games have 3 things in their folio or something. But then I guess that's also where you are in the industry as well. Like once you have a good track record of games and companies that you've worked for, you need less in your folio. But just put your best stuff in, basically. Just don't put sketches and stuff, like put finished work accompanied by maybe a sketch of your process for it. No filler, pretty much. Yeah.
Like earlier with like your mentor and stuff like that being a source of inspiration. So besides that person, who are your other sources of inspiration?
Oh man, it depends on what I'm working on. I guess on the project, like Sea Monkeys, I sort of had a bit of a mood board when I was beginning to do the concept art of other games that I thought the aesthetic was appropriate. I can't exactly remember now who I had on there or what games. There's a lot of mobile games and stuff that were aimed sort of more at kids. But for me personally, probably so like all the concept artists that worked on Dishonored They're just all so good. I think the main guy is like Sergei Kolosov. I love his work. And then like, I don't know, architecture is a big inspiration. I really like Lebbeus Woods. I think that's how you say his name. Lebbeus. He's like a conceptual architect. And I like fashion as well and costume design. So like Iris van Herpen, Elliot Emil, Alexander McQueen. Yeah, there's some inspirations that I can think of at the moment. I need a Google search in my brain to be able to remember all of them. I'm sure there's more I've forgotten.
Like your inspo sources, I guess. When you're looking for inspiration or references, do you look at other games or non-game stuff? You already
Both.
mentioned like a few mobile games, I guess.
Yeah, I try to look at other games in the genre, but also try to look at other stuff so that I'm not just recycling like what's already been done. So I try and look outside of that. With references, honestly, like I just Google stuff. Yeah, like man sitting in chair is something that I Googled recently. Yeah. Or like shirt folds elbow bent. Or something like that. Yeah.
I draw as well. That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean. Pinterest is good
Man
too, but
looking at camera frontal
yes.
view.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like outstretched hand towards camera or something.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is like that.
I'll even
It's so
take my own references as well. Like, you know, you just put the phone on self timer and then do some weird pose. Like I was holding a chapstick in place of a cigarette for some fan I did a while ago. It was just this really weird selfie of me holding a chapstick like a cigarette. If anyone saw my camera roll, they'd just be like, "What?"
I feel like the self-taken references are the most useful, but like most embarrassing.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if it's like mid dancing pose or something. Yeah.
That's for illustration though. You also do like animation and stuff. Do you do like similar, I guess I don't think this is the right technical term, but like motion capture and
No,
like
not
referencing yourself
really.
and stuff for like animation.
Yeah, not for Sea Monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done any other animation for studios other than that. Like a lot of our character models so far have had sort of stock animations and stuff, but Sea Monkeys, like this Sea Monkey was the first one that we've really done just straight from scratch. We did all the animations from scratch. Actually, some of the animations are inverse kinematics, which is something I know nothing about, and Ruben did a really awesome job of that. But yeah, I have done like a little bit of motion capture with the face rig for Unreal, just messing around and stuff. I'd love to actually use that in a game eventually, though, because it's really cool.
Okay. I guess we can go on to like some questions about rigging and animation instead then, since like we're on the topic. Can you like talk through how you go about rigging a model and like actually animating things? Maybe just use like sea monkeys as an example.
Sure. So, if I can remember, it's been a long time since I actually rigged and animated this. It's in a T pose right now, but so this is the skeleton. If I just take it out of rest position, it's a bit framey, but it's swimming. So I'm just figuring out how I can sort of demonstrate making the skeleton. I can't actually remember. Armature maybe, and then you add a bone. Yeah, this is it. So you start with a bone, a base bone, which would usually be the hips, like this area here, and go into edit mode, and you can just extrude more bones. And there's a whole process to making an armature that there's like standard bone names and things like that.
So what you just did there is essentially the orange lines here, right?
Yeah, I've just had them display differently so that I can see the body of the sea monkey better, but they are the same bones. I think in the settings you can just display as like that's what they look like by default, but it's just sometimes hard to sort of see behind them, if you know what I mean. So I'll have these stick bones instead. And then it's just a process of like adding keyframes. So in Blender, you would go into pose mode, you would move a bone around, and then you would add a keyframe. And you just do that loads. Sorry, I wish it was fresher in my mind. Yeah, it's just my memory's a bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
But that's
There's so many bones to like control. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, there's a bit of like there's a
this.
few shortcuts. Like I've got a little bit of IK inverse kinematics on the bones here, so I can bend the whole tail without needing to individually rotate these bones just by grabbing this handle here. And same with the knees and the elbows and the ankles. So if I grab an ankle and I can move it that way, it bends the whole leg, just like same as if you grabbed, someone's ankle and moved it in real life, and then you can change the way the knee is facing with whichever, there it is. There's a handle for the knee, so you can rotate the knee around without the ankle moving, if you know what I mean. So for arm and leg movements, it's a little bit easier. And fingers as well, like I can select all of these fingers, and if I go up here and select individual origins, when I rotate, it will curl the fingers each around their own individual midpoint. So they can grab. And then, it's just a matter of adding keyframes. So I'd like to stretch out the hand, add a keyframe, go a few frames in the future, do this, add another keyframe, and then it's that grabbing motion.
Right.
But I hope that explained it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because I'm only familiar with like 2D stuff, and like we don't have this cool rigging stuff. I mean, maybe we do, but like I don't know.
I think there's something Unity has added or is adding soon that they announced that's like 2D rigging, but it's like a paper doll type thing. But it's similar, like you can add an armature to a character and move that. I just want to quickly explain why it looks like there's 4 antennae here and he only has 3 antennae, just because I don't know if whether people are going to be confused or not, but originally we had 4 antenna and we changed it to 3, and it turns out that having these 2 bones here doesn't really affect the movement that much of like the middle antenna, so I just left it.
Work.
Yeah, exactly. And we had to do it quite quickly as well, like within a week, including changing all the face sprites and So
Curious
yeah,
about
it was a
this.
quick solution. It still works.
Which
Sorry, what was that?
part of the process? Yeah. Which part of the process is your favorite then? Like modeling, illustrating, sorry, concepting, animating, or like no preference?
Um, I can tell you what my least favorite is.
Okay.
It's the texturing when it's really tedious, like when it has a lot of repeating patterns and stuff. I get sort of bored with that, so I have to be doing a couple of different ones at a time to stay sane if I'm drawing like scales or stripes or something like that. And also just getting it from Blender into Unity is a bit of an arduous process sometimes. But I really liked modeling it, and yeah, going from concept art to model is probably my favorite part of it. And just bouncing back and forth different ideas about concept art. I like that bit of it.
I have a question. Oh my gosh. Will you ever release a compilation of like comparisons of self-references to the final product?
Oh, self-references for Sea Monkeys, I didn't do any. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately.
I don't
No,
think you
I
can do
didn't do
that
any.
for sea monkeys, though. They're levitating. Unless you have
Yeah.
like something suspending you from like the ground.
I mean, I do have a pool. So
Oh,
I could have got some swimming actions. No, I just kind of gave it my best shot, really. Did what I thought looked right, and it turned out okay. So yeah, in the future maybe we'll do some self-references for other animations that we have, but at this point, yeah, it's just this swimming animation.
things you do to like get lifelike animations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy like what's it called? Videos of people taking like their expressions and like acting it out and stuff. I wish I
Yeah.
Maddie said garbage monkey cosplay. That'd probably be the easiest. Oh wait, no. The regular sea monkey is probably easiest. You just need like the pretty prongs as like a what do you
Yeah.
call it? Then
You need
band? Headband.
like 10 liters of pink body paint though. Imagine the flaking, like it would just be flaking off.
Oh
Oh my
god.
goodness. Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
you can wear like a skin tight pink colored bodysuit.
Oh, like a morph suit, and then you could paint the face on it.
So
Yeah.
you can avoid like
Yeah, that would
ink
work.
everywhere, just your hands and face will be okay.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
And pink flippers. I can't remember. I'll have to look it
Ronnie's
up.
the most serious out of all of us. He's asking questions. After you finish drawing the lines on the sea monkey, what's the next step?
On this texture, probably just a bit of shading and coloring. So I've got these chords here that I'm going to do like multiple colors. I'm just feeling out kind of the where it's going to have panels and the different forms now. Yeah. And then shading to kind of make it look like, I don't know if you've ever seen on like TikTok or Instagram, they have those makeup artists that do body makeup that's like an illusion where they'll paint themselves into a robot and then they'll have like a black background and then they paint the gaps like in the robot structure black and then it gives that illusion of them looking like a robot. I'm kind of going for that
think I
rather
get what
than
you mean
building
now.
out like a whole new robot sea monkey model because that'd be really complicated and possibly expensive graphically. I'm not sure. So I'm sort of going for that. So any holes or anything, like I'm just painting them black, and then I'll shade the metal and I'll make it like a metallic texture. So in these texture settings, I can turn up like the metallic factor or whatever it is, and have it look really metallic. I don't know how well you can see it in Blender, but once it gets into Unity, you'll be able to see, and have the black bits sort of a matte black, so it gives that illusion. So yeah, that's next steps. It's just shading and coloring.
One of the last few questions I had of this I made. Do you have any tips on like general 3D modeling, texturing / animating?
Animating, not really. I'm not it's not my forte. My best advice is, keep it as simple as possible. Use reference where you can. Try not to have too many keyframes that you just lose. Keep keyframes to a minimum if you can. I don't know. The real professional advice might be totally different, but that's what I do. Because I'm not a professional animator. Texturing. Again, not too much advice on that side of things. I'm still learning to hand paint textures in Blender. I guess just make sure when you're texturing that everything is UV unwrapped really sort of efficiently, I suppose. And you don't want to have your polygons sort of squashed up, because that's when you get like a weird pixelated part of a texture where it's had to stretch the image around a large area. That's not that easy to explain. Sorry, I'll see if I can just show you. It's just issues I've had in the past with it. So like you can see how everything's in proportion here with the unwrapping.
Funny to look at.
Yeah. So if you have like a large area like the stomach, like you don't want it to be all bunched up or anything. So in Blender you can mark your seams. It's just like making clothes, I suppose. You can see like I've marked a seam around the side here where things are going to be less visible, and that's where each side is going to join up. Modeling, again, just work like methodically, keep things as simple as you can, and make sure that your I can never remember whether it's topography or topology is good, because that is like where I've run into really bad issues, is having like bad topology and then having to correct it after I finished the model, and it's really horrible to do. The other thing about that is like rigging and animating, you want to make sure where you've got joints that you have sort of like on the bendier bits you have more edge loops so that it bends nicely. Sort of like a straw, like a bendy straw, you know how it has that bit, like crinkly bit where it bends.
Draws for arms, literally.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I can think of right now. But if you have any more specific like questions, I can try and give some advice.
I guess as like someone who's like completely unfamiliar to like 3D modeling, could you like elaborate a bit about what are UV textures? UV.
Yeah, sure. UV maps are basically it's sort of like a pattern for clothes, or like when you have like a net of a cube and you fold it up and it becomes a cube. It's just like the program's way of unwrapping the 3D model and turning it into this flat 2D thing that you can paint on. So it's how it will wrap the image texture around it. I think, if you can see like the corresponding, like there's the wires. That's yeah, that's basically what it is just the way that it maps a 2D image onto a 3D model using these polygons. So like each of these would be like a flat piece of paper, I guess. Is the best way to explain it. Yeah.
I'm guessing you can draw onto that flat surface and have it appear on the 3D model as well.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Blender has all these different modes of like image editor is the one that you want for that, and it has a paint mode. I'm just going to save the image before I do anything actually. So I can paint on there,
Right.
or I can paint on a 3D surface as well. It just depends what your specific thing that you want to do is. So yeah, like one way to avoid that weird warping when you're painting textures is to just paint on the 2D surface, but then it's harder to see what it will look like in 3D. So yeah, it's just a matter of like figuring out what works best.
Beck has a question. When it comes to learning to improve your texture art, how do you practice? Did you find models online and experiment, or find another way?
I already had some models that I'd made, and then to compare it to, like you've got a reference and you've got a guide. Basically, yeah, those are good. Yeah, but most of my texturing is stuff that it's 3D models that I've made myself, just either for game or as modeling practice. Also, if you're a student, if you can get the student version of Substance Painter, I think it's still free. It's so good. It's really good, and they have good documentation and good tutorials. It's a lot more powerful than Blender.
He has like a last question, I think, with
Sure.
the time we have left.
Yeah,
What
no
about
worries.
learning using asset packs? Shout out to Cinti Studios over in Wellington.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed learning what using asset packs. Sorry?
What about learning using asset packs?
Like using an asset pack
Learning
for like texturing and stuff like that, like using it as a base.
texturing. I'm not sure. I haven't done that before. I mean, I've added things and modified textures from asset packs, but I wouldn't recommend doing that to learn. Yeah, I guess actually it would be a good reference. So if you want to look at Cinti was good for me in understanding how low poly stuff was textured. Like if you just look at the textures and see what they've done with them, like a lot of Cinti's textures are basically just a square image that's divided into four with four different colors, and then they've unwrapped the models. Like say it's a building model, they've just unwrapped it really, really tiny and given it each bit its own color. I'll see if I can just demonstrate what I mean here. So like if I painted a little piece of this, like this color, I'm not going to save this document. And then I grabbed like, okay, I'll save that for now, but I can just undo it. If I went to the UV editor, grabbed this UV map, made it really, really tiny, and then put it inside, like you'd have a pink sea monkey. So Cinti basically does that by like, yeah, they have a square image and they have it divided into four, and they'll have like red, green, blue, yellow, or whatever the colors the model is, and they just have each like bit sort of sitting in these four quadrants. And that's how you can get really simple low poly kind of limited color models basically. I don't know if that made sense. But yeah, that was a really good reference for me when I was texturing low poly stuff. Like simple low poly stuff is it's a quick way to do it, and I didn't realize that's how they did it. So yeah.
Just out of time now. Anyone have like any last few questions you guys want to ask? If not, I think that's it. Thank you everyone for coming. I do have a small feedback form that I hope you guys can fill out. I hope you guys learned something today from Sophie. And yeah, we'll stick around for a bit. Oh, what's the best way to follow your work, Sophie? LinkedIn, ArtStation.
On my Instagram, probably I have an art Instagram. ArtStation is just my folio, so I don't post there very much unless it's something really, a folio piece. Follow my Instagram, and that has a link to my ArtStation as well. It's qv.jpg. Yeah. Oh, cool. I was going to type it, but Anne, you've already put it. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
There's some fan art and stuff on there as well, so it's a lot more like fun and less serious than like ArtStation. So yeah.
Just posted the feedback there. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening
Thanks
to me
for
an
coming
hour.
back.
Thank you so much, Anne, also for facilitating those questions and helping guide me through my first AMA.
Thanks for running it with me.
Yeah.
First
I
event.
was pretty nervous, but it was good.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming. See you guys.
Okay, I'm going to stop the screen recording.